The palace has just pulled its boldest move yet, and let's just say Prince Harry might be running out of time faster than anyone expected. Whispers have turned into real actions, and what's happening behind those royal gates feels straight out of a drama series. Except this time, the stakes are royal titles, power, and legacy. Overnight, breaking reports from London sent shockwaves across the world. Top royal officials have quietly started official talks to remove Prince Harry's royal titles. Yes, you heard that right, a move so drastic no monarch has dared to do this to their own bloodline in over a century. It's bold, it's brutal, and it's bound to spark chaos across the monarchy. But wait, here's the wild twist. Instead of sitting silently or denying the rumors like before, Harry's already on a plane. Sources say he's rushing straight to the UK, in what insiders are calling a desperate personal intervention. He's not flying home for a ceremony or family reunion. Oh no, he's coming back to stop something massive, something that could redefine the monarchy itself. For months, quiet whispers about a possible royal crackdown echoed through the marble halls of Buckingham Palace. But the moment Prince William stepped up to handle royal duties during King Charles's cancer treatment, everything changed. What was once rumor has now turned into real power moves. Behind those heavily guarded palace walls, a silent war is unfolding, one that could completely reshape what royalty means in the modern age. And at the heart of this storm, a son desperately trying to protect the titles that once defined him, even as he's being cast out by the very family he was born into. Why now? Who's really pulling the strings behind this sudden royal assault? Is it the ailing king, the cunning heir, or the palace machine itself? The same system that's outlasted every scandal for centuries? Because if what's being reported is true, this isn't just a family feud anymore. This is a full-blown royal civil war, a war between blood and crown. Harry's urgent flight to London might not just be a homecoming, it could be his final chance to save everything he has left. London 2025, and the air around Buckingham Palace feels heavy, almost suffocating, not from ceremony but from pure tension. King Charles, still bravely battling his illness, has quietly stepped back from daily duties, and in his place Prince William has risen, careful, cautious, and determined to protect the monarchy at all costs. But within this new royal battlefield, one name keeps echoing: Harry. Once the adored soldier prince, he's now seen as a man at war with his own legacy. His army, no longer soldiers, just cameras, contracts, and controversy. A son once celebrated for his courage now stands as the monarchy's most unpredictable threat. Every Netflix deal, every tell-all interview, every sly accusation, each one has chipped away at the dignity of the crown. And right beside him stands Meghan Markle, the woman who traded royal duty for Hollywood glamour. Rumor has it, Meghan's working on a luxury cosmetics brand inspired by royal elegance itself, and guess what? In London's elite circles, this move isn't seen as creativity, it's seen as exploitation. Every new business venture, every modern project seems to cash in on the very titles they claim to reject. Inside the palace, patience has finally snapped. Senior courtiers whisper that Prince William now sees the Sussexes not as family, but as a threat, a brand contaminant, a danger to the royal image he's trying to protect. Royal aides aren't asking if action will be taken anymore, they're asking when. The timing is ruthless but calculated. As King Charles grows weaker, William grows stronger, and with that newfound power comes one mission: protect the firm from its most vocal rebels. Forgiveness is no longer an option, it's seen as weakness. So if that's true, then Harry's sudden flight home isn't an olive branch, it's a reckoning. In the beginning, it all felt like a fairy tale, didn't it? A prince in love with a glamorous American actress, the story that promised to modernize the monarchy. Their wedding was a global event, full of diversity, hope, and rebellion. Cameras caught smiles, not strategies. It was picture perfect. But in the palace halls, while the public dreamed of unity, insiders were holding their breath. The world saw a romantic love story. The palace, they saw a gamble, a test of how far royal tradition could bend before it broke. And it didn't take long. By 2020, the Sussexes had packed their bags and walked away. Their new mission? Independence. No courtiers, no rules, no royal hierarchy. But that freedom they craved came with a cost, one even they didn't expect, because soon, that independence turned into a full-blown franchise. What began as a personal reinvention exploded into a billion-dollar brand built on palace secrets. Podcasts picking apart privilege, docu-series rewriting royal history. Private moments turned into public content, and every private grievance turned into profit. The couple who once begged for privacy were now selling it, one interview at a time. And while Harry spoke endlessly about healing, every revelation reopened wounds the monarchy wanted buried. Every confession made reconciliation harder, turning real pain into spectacle. Each new accusation peeled back another layer of royal mystery, until the institution's image began to crumble. Back in London, William watched helplessly as his brother's crusade turned into the monarchy's biggest PR disaster. Every new documentary, every viral quote, chipped away at centuries of dignity. For months, the palace stayed silent, praying the storm would pass. But the storm didn't fade. It grew louder. The more Harry spoke, the deeper the wounds cut. And soon, the public stopped asking, "Why did he leave?" and started asking, "What will he destroy next?" Because somewhere between healing and Hollywood, Harry stopped fighting for freedom and started fighting for attention. And that's the real danger the palace now fears. Then came the whispers in Parliament. Just a few words tucked inside a Sunday editorial. A proposed new law that could allow royal titles to be stripped by vote. At first, it sounded like fiction, something the tabloids made up for clicks. But behind closed doors, drafts were written, secret meetings held, and a chilling message started to echo through the palace walls. The monarchy was getting ready to clean house. Prince Andrew was the obvious target, sure. But according to insiders, William's list didn't stop there. The second name was his brother's. For years, Harry had demanded distance from the monarchy, until that distance started to hurt his image. Now suddenly, he was Prince Harry again, but only when the cameras were rolling. While William poured his energy into service and stability, Harry poured his into streaming deals and production contracts. And Meghan? Ever the strategist, she turned every spotlight into a business opportunity. Her new ventures, said to be inspired by royal heritage, blurred the line between legacy and luxury, between royalty and hustle. Critics called it what it was: opportunism dressed in designer gowns. Behind palace doors, aides were panicking. Polls were quietly being tracked. And when the results came in, they were jaw-dropping. The Sussex's approval ratings had dropped even lower than Prince Andrew's. Let that sink in. Lower than the man who nearly tanked the monarchy. It was a humiliation that hit harder than any tabloid headline. The very couple who once claimed the moral high ground had now lost the moral crowd. Still, Harry doubled down, framing himself as both the victim and the hero of his own story. But to the public, the contradiction was blinding. How could a man demand respect from the same system he spent years tearing apart? But here's where things take an even stranger twist. The palace isn't reacting anymore. It's planning, strategizing, calculating every move. And at the center of this master plan is not the king, but the heir. Because beneath all the pageantry, Buckingham Palace runs on one unbreakable rule: survival. Not sympathy, not sentiment. And that instinct, that icy, unrelenting instinct, now belongs entirely to Prince William. As King Charles fights his private battle with illness, William has quietly taken the throne's pulse, and perhaps control. His new vision is sharp, ruthless, and efficient, a monarchy that's cleaner, leaner, and scandal-proof. The era of messy emotions and tabloid wars is over. William's made up his mind. To protect the crown, the noise must be cut out completely. And guess who that noise refers to? Harry and Meghan. Their rebellion, once seen as brave defiance, is now Exhibit A of what happens when royal privilege meets fame. Every confession, every tell-all, every teary close-up, it all turned royal duty into reality TV. In Washington, where they once sought political credibility, the glow has dimmed. Advocacy groups that once championed them now keep their distance, not because of their message, but because of the mirror reflecting what they've become. Everything they once accused the monarchy of, image control, privilege, exploitation, has now become the backbone of their own brand. And Meghan's rumored new venture, a royal-inspired cosmetics line, only twists the knife deeper. How can someone reject the crown while bottling and selling its image? To the public, it doesn't look like empowerment anymore. It looks like luxury hypocrisy. Harry's no better off. His memoir, once hailed as raw and brave, now reads like a diary of entitlement. A man torn between guilt and greed. Every interview chips away at the sympathy he once earned. As the lost prince, he's become the complainer-in-chief, defined not by his service or his courage, but by his grudges. And so the cruel irony plays out. In trying to escape the shadow of the monarchy, Harry and Meghan built a smaller one. Brighter, flashier, but hollow. A spotlight that burns fast and leaves nothing but glare. Because exile isn't freedom. Not when you keep dragging the palace wherever you go. And the world has noticed. The judgment that once came from the palace has now shifted. To the public, their audience, their fans, their followers. The very people who made them icons are tuning out. Once they were the glamorous bridge between royalty and real life. Now, they're seen as performers playing the same tired roles. Every speech about compassion is followed by a luxury deal. Every plea for privacy by another tell-all, even loyal supporters admit they're exhausted. You can only cry truth so many times before it starts sounding like a brand campaign. Across social media, the backlash is relentless. Clips meant to inspire are turned into memes. Their grand declarations of independence are now punchlines. And the couple who once fled royal scrutiny now face the unforgiving court of public opinion, where no palace walls can protect them. Harry, the once beloved rebel prince, now looks like a man at war with his own reflection. Meghan, once admired for her poise and strength, now stands accused of overexposure. Polished, perfect, and detached. Together, they've become the architects of their own downfall. Proof that fame without authenticity always collapses under its own spotlight. Because fame makes you known, but credibility makes you last. And theirs, sadly, is slipping away. Maybe this was always bound to happen. Maybe the royal rebel was destined to learn that freedom without limits isn't freedom, it's chaos. And now, as Harry rushes home to face the very institution he tried to escape, this isn't just a scandal anymore, it's a warning. The same spotlight that once crowned them is now dissecting them. Every gesture, every motive, every word. And Meghan, the actress who once stole hearts, now stands trapped in a role no one believes in anymore. The world no longer sees a fairy tale. It sees a cautionary fable of how power, fame, and rebellion can eat their own. Because perhaps the cruelest truth of all is this. For all their talk about authenticity, the only thing Harry and Meghan ever made truly real was the fallout. Behind the glamorous photo shoots and glossy interviews lies a harsh reality. Reputation isn't a right, it's a rhythm. And once you lose the beat, the world stops listening. The palace might strip their titles, but the public has already taken something far greater, their credibility. Because power doesn't always end with a crown. Sometimes it ends with silence. And if the royal family can erase its own blood to protect the throne, what else can they erase? What truths are still buried? And which stories were never meant to surface?